Hi friends, today we're going to prepare Spaghetti Bolognese with a bit of an Indian twist. And the specialty of today's video is that it's going to be entirely in English. So for those of you who are trying to learn English, I hope this video would be useful for you. I'm going to start off by chopping off some garlic. Now I have a pot placed on the stove. It's heated up and I'm going to add a bit of olive oil. I like to use olive oil in my cooking because first of all it's healthy and it gives a good flavor. So first we're going to add our garlic into this. And while that is sauteing there on the side, we're going to chop up our onions. I'm going to dice up some onions, and I've just taken like about 4 or 5 Indian onions because Indian onions are definitely rich in flavor. Now I'm going to add my onions into this. Now we don't want them to fry or get crispy or brown or anything. We just want them to soften up a bit so that it's not like eating into raw onions. And while this is getting done, I'm going to chop up the rest of my vegetables. I'm going to add some capsicum into this. Roughly into cubes or just dice them as it is. I tend to add a lot of vegetables because this is the only way I get my kids to eat vegetables. So the more I add, the more they eat because it's there with the meat. No one actually realizes that they're eating vegetables along with it. So it's healthy. Now, just going to add capsicum. And now we're just going to get the carrots chopped up. Roughly into the same size. Some people like to go for smaller. I'm happy with this. Now here comes the carrots. So beautiful, it's colorful. Alright, now I'm going to add a bit of cabbage. A small piece of cabbage, and I'm just going to add this as well. Goes our cabbage. I'm just going to get some mushrooms. I'm using button mushrooms and I'm using the canned ones. If you have fresh one, lucky you can use the fresh ones. So I got my mushrooms. I am adding some chilies, and these are Thai chilies. So don't get me wrong, they might look small, but believe me, they are nasty, right? But it adds really good flavor along with the heat. Oops. So just putting that in. You can have this normal chilies or something where it's not that spicy. So this is also going to go in. All right. Now in goes. If you've touched the chilies, make sure you wash your hands, because these guys are nasty. Now I'm adding some fresh tomato. It's not really essential to add these because we are going to add tomato puree, so it's not essential, but you know, these are just so juicy, so beautiful. And as I mentioned earlier, this is my style, so I'm just going to add tomatoes into it as well. And who can resist them? They're so yummy. So everything seems to be coming together inside our pot, and in goes tomatoes. Now I'm going to add the meat to this, so I'm just going to get the meat. Yeah. I'm just going to let it cook for a few minutes. If you want a lot more of meat into this, you can do that. Absolutely okay to do so. And you don't need to add all of this into your pasta when you prepare it. If you have leftover, you can just store it into plastic containers, you know, like freezer safe, and keep them in the freezer. It will last for a few days, and then you can use it. I'm going to add a bit of salt to this. Then a bit of paprika. It's not necessary, but if you want, you can just add. I like to add. I'm using Kashmiri paprika here. And then of course, the secret ingredient, black pepper or black gold. And of course we have one more thing coming up, which is oregano. Mix all this up. And to this, I'm going to add a bit of tomato puree. So now we have sufficient puree, we have our meat, we have our vegetables. Now everything needs to cook for some time. Now it's best to add a bottle of beer or red wine to this and let it simmer for about 20-25 minutes. But I'm not going to add either of those things. I'm just going to add plain old water to this and let it cook for a few minutes. So while this is getting cooked and we want it to reduce a bit and to become like a sauce, like a pasta gravy. So while that's happening on one side, we are going to simultaneously get our spaghetti ready. So I've already put a dish of water on the stove and we're just waiting for it to heat up. And when that's done, you're just going to add a bit of salt and of course olive oil, and then cook our spaghetti. Right, so water is, I think it's boiled, right? It seems hot enough. I've just reduced the heat, that's all. And in goes the oil and of course salt. And goes our spaghetti. We're gonna let this cook. Now everything is reduced and it smells amazing. I wish you guys could just smell this. It's just beautiful. Right, so I am going to switch this off and keep it aside. And at the same time, my pasta is ready. So I am going to drain my pasta. Right, so spaghetti is done, sauce is done, and everyone goes on top like this. Right, so delicious. I am going to dig in. So everything is ready, looks good. I'm sure it tastes good. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and to press the bell icon for more such interesting recipes and videos. Thank you.